Sarah Jo here with a quick guide on how to align shoulder seams. When you first start laying out a sewing pattern, it might appear that the front and back shoulder seams don't align. This can cause frustration and make you wonder what you did wrong. When I look at these shoulder seams, they're about a ½ inch off, which is quite a bit in the scheme of things. However, what I'm not accounting for is the seam allowance. The seam allowance for this pattern is a ½ inch, so I'm going to draw that on right now. After those lines are drawn, I'm going to fold it over along that line. This represents me sewing the seam together and hiding that seam allowance. Now, when I align the shoulder seams, they match perfectly. That's what will happen when you sew the garment together. This looks straightforward on paper, but when it comes to actually sewing, it can be a little confusing when you try to align the edges perfectly and they're still a little off. An easy trick I have to help with this is to draw the seam allowances on using a water-soluble marker. The seam allowance for this is a ½ inch, so I'm going to draw the seam allowance to give me a better visual. Once that's drawn, I'll place the front and back bodices with right sides together like I'm sewing the shoulder seam. Next, I'll match up the lines so that they're on top of each other. Pin the shoulder seam at this line. You can see that at the edges, the shoulders don't look like they align, but along the seam allowance that you drew, it matches up perfectly along the neckline and the armscye. Happy sewing!